So here we are with phase 4 of the on-again, off-again process of the tissue fitting. And what I did was I lengthened this armhole a ½ inch. My little dart, I pinched out a ¼ inch right at the seam. So that tells me then I'm going to lengthen a ½ inch. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to the mirror. So that's what I'll do next, is I'll go back to the mirror and just visually what you're going to do is pinch out that dart so that it is where you want it to be. And in a knit, a dart that comes out of the armhole is going to be a short little dart, and it's going to be a small little dart. And a lot of people, it's a very common tendency to make this dart too deep. Anything deeper than about a ½ inch is much too much. Now, why didn't I just put that dart in and be done with it? And I have to say, that's an option. But if you're big busted, the reason you add the length is because you not only need big enough to go around the bust, but you also need it to go up and over. And this extra length is what's going to assure then that the hem will be straight at the bottom. So we'll go back to the mirror and I'll pin in the dart, and that does the final positioning. So what I've done at this point is I've actually taped the pattern to myself at the center back to hold it in place. So it's all settled the way it will be. And now, working with the mirror and kind of eyeballing the dart, I'm going to fold that dart into position and hold it and put a pin in to hold it. And then I'll take it off and fine-tune it at the design table. I can also take a colored pencil and make a dot at the fullest part of my bust so that I know that that little dart is pointing in the right direction. So now I'm using that crease as a reference point. This doesn't have to be perfect, and I think that's where people get hung up. Get close. You can always restitch it if it's not in the right place. It's a knit. You can make it a little bit deeper. You don't want to make this dart too long, so it'll be about maybe 3 inches, 2 inches long. And it'll look something like that. Could be maybe a tiny bit longer. So now I'll put this on one more time and check it out and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm trying to get close. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am very much liking what's happening with that little dart. That little dart solved a lot of problems. So at this point, the tissue fitting has done its job so far. So what I've got is the garment is big enough to go around me. It's fitting me in the neck, the shoulder, the armhole seems good. I may want to change the location of the armhole seam, but I can do that in the sewing stage. And the final thing we're going to do is take a look at the sleeve. This is a 3/4 sleeve I'm working with. What I've done with the sleeve is I've pinned the sleeve together, and with the sleeve what you have to do is bring that shoulder point up to the shoulder point and take a look at the size and the length. So I put a little crook in my arm like so. Look at myself in the mirror. It looks great. It looks just fine. I even like the little length of it. If I wanted to make this a full-sleeved garment, I'd get out my tape measure and measure how much to lengthen the sleeve, how far to a full sleeve length, and then I'd make that change as well. So at this point, I have a very good idea of what this finished t-shirt is going to look like. And this is looking like a really good little basic body that I can do lots and lots of different things to. So at this point, I am ready to cut.